Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. As I noted in my last video, I've been in Arizona for quite a while, and my projects during that period of time were constrained by what would fit and work on a mini lathe and my selection of tools that were available. Now that I'm back in my home base and have access to my full-size lathe, I have this overwhelming urge, this drive to pick up the biggest, baddest hunk of wood that I can and turn a large bowl. Now, probably have to be green turned. So here's the biggest, baddest piece of wood I can find. This is walnut. Came from a member of the local woodturning club. Huge, heavy piece of wood, very wet still, although it's been in my shop for 6 months. Now, it should be nice grain, hard to go wrong with walnut. On this side, however, there is a loose limb of some sort that will present a little bit of a challenge. So let's make this the bottom, this the top. I'll screw on a large faceplate. I'm not going to risk this with just with spur centers, but a faceplate on this. And let's turn a big bad bowl.
After attaching the faceplate, I rough measured out on the diagonals to indicate where I should cut the corners. It is easy for me to misjudge diagonals if I go solely by eye, so I'd rather have some markings than cut a little outside the mark. And I'd rather cut that final distance on the lathe than wind up with a smaller bowl. I have an electric chainsaw that is safe to use inside, as long as I don't cut into the lathe bed. Even with a faceplate, I'm bringing up the tailstock for stability and safety. Since the wood is heavy and unbalanced, I'll also lower and use the lathe guard. Ever since my close encounter with a heavy block of apricot, I prefer to let the lathe take the first hit from a flying block of wood. I'm turning very slowly, just below the speed with heavy vibration. I'll have at it with a large bowl gouge. I've learned that it's easier to start near the bottom center and work out to the corners. That piece of side limb comes off quickly. The wood is beautiful, however there's a lot of punky sapwood to deal with. Finally, I'll cut a tenon sized to my large chuck jaws, since this bowl seems to need a larger base. Then flip the wood around and mount into the chuck. With it round, I'll lift the lathe guard, but still bring up the tailstock for a little while longer. Again, I'll use my large bowl gouge. Now the center nub is getting in the way. I'll move the tailstock and get rid of it so that I can be free to cut the full hollow. Unfortunately, the lip has a nasty crack and some punky sapwood. I've lost over an inch of bowl height to that crack in sapwood. There's a lot of fuzzy wood. Although I'll be finished turning this bowl later, I'll clean up the inside with a heavy bowl scraper. I'd like to see the grain and figure more clearly before I put it to soak. I've tried soaking a bowl in alcohol once before. That project, a rosebush root, did not turn out. I need to try soaking again. I purchased a large stainless steel bowl from a thrift store. I saved the alcohol from that previous project. It has a slight rose coloring. I also have some glass pieces used for floral arrangements. I'll use them to reduce the amount of alcohol and to weigh down the bowl. They were cheaper than marbles. We'll see how much of the walnut color leaches out while soaking. I don't remember how long to soak the wood and then to dry it. I'll have to look that up again, unless one of you has the answer. Patience is so overrated. I'd like to finish this bowl right now and see how it turns out. The figure is so pretty, but I'll try to work on my patience. Let it soak a while, let it dry a while, then on to the final turning. Can you wait with me? Please click the like button on this video and subscribe to both my website and YouTube channel. Always wear your face shield, unless you'd put off that sinus surgery too long already. Until next time, this is Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns.